Legend of the Spirit Contractors, Rise of the Genesis Core Beast. Prologue: The Heir of Stone. The world is known as Etheria, a world where humanity did not command magic through talent alone, but through the eternal bonds they forged with spiritual beings known as spirit beasts. Every child was born with a taming crest, a mark upon their soul that granted them but a single chance to bind their life to a spirit beast. From that day onward, their destinies became one. As the beast grew, so too did its contractor. Together, they sought greater synchronization, challenged impossible spiritual trials, and climbed the path toward legend. Yet the same bond that granted miracles also birthed nightmares. Those who failed their spiritual trials did not simply perish. Many were twisted into dark spirit beasts, abominations born from broken souls that spread corruption wherever they roamed. Across Etheria, kingdoms maintained armies of contractors to hunt these monsters before they could gather into devastating dark tides. Power came at a price. Every advancement demanded increasingly rare spirit essences, ancient treasures, and priceless evolution catalysts. For many, becoming a great contractor depended as much upon wealth and powerful allies as upon talent. It was a world where fortunes could create legends, or bury them. Among the many continents of Etheria, none was more prosperous than the central continent. At its heart stood the Kingdom of Asterion, ruled for nearly 2,000 years by the descendants of the legendary Three-Crest hero, the founder who had united the continent during the Age of Calamities. Although no one had inherited 3 crests since the hero himself, the royal bloodline still carried a miracle: the sacred steel spirit beasts. Hidden somewhere within the kingdom lay the royal family's greatest secret, a sacred land where living veins of enchanted ore slept beneath the earth. At the proper season, those metallic eggs awakened into steel spirit infants, companions reserved only for the heirs of the crown. For generations, the royal family alone had guarded this secret, and recently hope had returned. Princess Seraphina Asterion had been born with 2 taming crests, the first dual-crested royal in nearly 5 centuries. The announcement shook the continent. Kings sent gifts, the great clans renewed old alliances. Even ancient contractors living in seclusion turned their attention toward the royal capital. Many whispered that another golden age had begun. Others feared history was preparing another calamity. Supporting the throne were the 5 great noble clans, each entrusted with preserving one of the great elemental lineages. The Verdant clan nurtured the wood spirits. The Tempest clan commanded the wind spirits. The Blazefang clan ruled over fire spirits. The Azuretide clan mastered water spirits. And lastly, the Stoneheart clan, guardians of the earth spirits. Once, the Stoneheart clan had stood proudly among the greatest houses of the kingdom. Earth spirits were dependable, resilient, loyal, the backbone of countless armies. But times had changed. Earth spirit beasts were among the most abundant spirit beasts on the continent. The Stoneheart clan possessed countless earth-aligned bloodlines, from humble rock moles and stonefang boars to rare crystal snakes, obsidian bears, and ironback badgers. Their diversity was never the clan's weakness. Their true loss was far older. Generations ago, the Stoneheart clan had been the keepers of an ancient earth spirit bloodline, a noble spirit beast said to possess limitless potential. But through war, betrayal, or the passage of time, that bloodline vanished from the clan's inheritance. Since then, no member of House Stoneheart had contracted an earth spirit beast capable of evolving beyond the adult spirit beast stage. Even their rarest bloodlines eventually reached the same impassable ceiling. Though the Stoneheart clan remained respected for its steadfast warriors and dependable earth spirit beasts, many believed its golden age had long since passed. Ambitious youths increasingly looked elsewhere, drawn by the promise of legendary bloodlines and the glory that accompanied them. Meanwhile, the other great clans continued to prosper. The Verdant clan possessed elders whose wood spirits had reached the elder spirit beast stage. The Tempest clan had soaring wind drakes and divine wind beasts. The Blazefang clan's ancestral phoenix was feared across the continent. The Azure-Tide clan commanded ancient sea serpents that had protected their shores for centuries. Only the Stoneheart clan lacked an elder spirit beast. Every one of their ancestral guardians remained at the adult stage, enough to preserve their status as a great clan. Not enough to compete with the others. Many quietly wondered how much longer they would remain among the five. Yet within Stoneheart Manor, hope had quietly appeared. The young Stoneheart heir. A young boy named Caelan Stoneheart. At first glance, he seemed ordinary. He possessed only a single crest. His spiritual aptitude tested merely above average. His magical reserves were unremarkable. Nothing about him suggested greatness, except the beasts liked him. Spirit infants that fled from experienced tamers would crawl into his lap. Wild earth beasts allowed him to approach without hostility. Even stubborn adult spirits acknowledged his presence with curious gazes. The clan's beastkeepers often joked that the boy spoke the language of spirits. Only Caelan knew the truth. He did not hear words. He simply understood them, their fear, their excitement, their loneliness, their dreams, as naturally as listening to another person speak. According to Stoneheart tradition, every heir was permitted to choose a companion from the clan's spirit sanctuary. Before him were 12 carefully selected candidates. Dazzling crystal eggs, promising earth cubs, young stone badgers, granite boars, jade tortoises. Every elder expected him to choose one destined for greatness. Instead, Caelan quietly walked past them all. He stopped before a tiny creature curled asleep in the corner of the sanctuary. Its hide was dull grey. Its body was scarcely larger than a house cat. Its spirit aura was so faint that most attendants had forgotten it was even there. No one had wanted it. No one had understood why it had even been included among the candidates. The little beast slowly opened its golden eyes. For a long moment, boy and spirit simply looked at one another. Neither moved, neither spoke. Then the tiny creature rubbed its head against Caelan's hand. Warm, trusting, almost relieved. A smile appeared on the boy's face. "There you are," he whispered. "I've been looking for you." The elders stared in disbelief. "Young master," one finally said, "that is only a common earth whelp. Its bloodline is weak. There are far better choices." Caelan gently lifted the infant into his arms. The little spirit curled against his chest as though it had always belonged there. He looked toward the elders with quiet certainty. "No," his voice was calm. "It isn't weak. It simply hasn't found the right path yet." The elders exchanged puzzled glances. How could an uncontracted child possibly know such a thing? Caelan himself could not explain it. But when he touched the little spirit, he saw countless possibilities. Not one future. Many. A guardian clad in living crystal. A beast whose body shone like polished steel. A mountain titan cloaked in emerald forests. A creature carrying rivers across its back. Even one surrounded by storms and molten stone. Unlike every known spirit beast, this tiny earth spirit did not possess a single destiny. It possessed many. Its future would not be decided by blood, but by the choices they made together. And neither Caelan nor the elders realized it yet. In choosing the weakest spirit in the sanctuary, the heir of the fading Stoneheart clan had just taken the first step toward changing the fate of the entire continent. Chapter 1. The Stone That Dreams. The first rays of dawn painted the peaks of the Stoneheart Mountains in gold. Far below, nestled between towering cliffs and ancient forests, stood Stoneheart Keep, the ancestral home of the Stoneheart clan. Unlike the elegant palaces of the Azure-Tide clan or the towering spires of the Tempest clan, Stoneheart Keep had been carved directly into the mountain itself. Its walls were living rock, strengthened over generations by earth contractors and their spirit beasts. It was said that the mountain protected its own people. Whether that was merely legend or the lingering blessing of an ancient spirit, none could say. The Stoneheart clan had defended these mountains for over 1,000 years. They guarded the kingdom's richest spirit crystal mines. escorted merchant caravans through dangerous passes, hunted corrupted beasts that emerged from forgotten caverns, and protected villages scattered throughout the highlands. Earth Spirit Contractors were rarely the strongest. They were simply the ones who endured. The morning training grounds echoed with the sounds of metal striking stone. Young contractors sparred while their spirit beasts watched beside them. A young granite boar lowered its tusks as its partner practiced shield techniques. Nearby, a stone lizard repeatedly climbed a cliff before leaping safely back down. Further away, two moss rams locked horns under the careful supervision of an instructor. Every lesson reinforced the same truth. A contractor who grows alone, the instructor shouted, will never survive a spiritual trial. The students immediately stopped attacking and instead began working alongside their spirit beasts. Some climbed obstacles together, others practiced coordinated movements. Synchronization was not measured by strength. It was measured by unity. Watching from a nearby balcony stood the clan's leader, Lord Caelan Stoneheart. His broad shoulders carried the weight of the entire clan, yet his calm eyes showed neither arrogance nor impatience. Standing beside him was a massive bear, nearly twice the height of a man. Its fur resembled layered granite, and a single horn of polished stone curved proudly from its forehead. The granite horn bear. Its growth had reached the peak adult stage, perfectly matching Garrick's own synchronization at Stage 3 Unified Will, 55% spirit synchronization. During battle, Garrick's arms could partially transform into living stone, and his strength rivaled siege weapons, but he had not yet gathered the treasures needed for the next spiritual trial. Behind him stood several elders. Elder Boros folded his arms with a deep frown. I still believe the young master made a mistake. Another elder sighed. The provincial examination is only months away. If he cannot reach the adult-infant bottleneck, Rowan caught himself before correcting his words. If he cannot complete the infant growth trial and raise his synchronization to Stage 2, Soul Bond, he will never qualify for the Grand Contractor Academy. He won't embarrass the clan, Boros muttered. He already has. Below the balcony, another group of young heirs proudly displayed their companions. One possessed a crystal tortoise with naturally forming gemstone armor. Another had contracted a rare ironhide rhino calf. Several younger children admired them with wide eyes. Then they noticed another boy quietly sitting beneath an old cedar tree. He wasn't training, he wasn't showing off. He simply smiled while a tiny grey spirit beast slept peacefully across his lap. Its body resembled a puppy, sculpted from dull stone. Small patches of moss grew across its back. Its breathing was slow and content. So that's the one boy laughed. The pebble pup? I heard it couldn't even crack a training stone. My father's mole spirit digs faster than that thing. The laughter spread. The little spirit slowly opened one golden eye. Instead of growling, it yawned, then returned to sleep. Caelan merely chuckled and gently scratched behind one of its rocky ears. You don't mind, do you? The little beast answered by nudging his hand. Not with words, with warmth, with trust, with quiet contentment. Caelan understood. It wasn't offended. It simply didn't care. He had never understood why speaking with spirit beasts felt so natural. Not through language, not through magic. He simply understood them. Fear, joy, curiosity, loneliness. The emotions arrived as naturally as breathing. When Terrapup had first looked at him weeks ago, there had been only one overwhelming feeling. Finally! As though it had been waiting for him. The afternoon brought another lesson. This one was far from the training grounds. Lord Garrick led Caelan toward one of the mountain villages protected by the Stoneheart clan. Terrapup trotted happily behind them. Along the road, miners pushed carts filled with spirit crystals. Farmers waved respectfully toward the clan lord. Children played beside gentle earth spirit beasts that helped till the fields and reinforce irrigation channels. One elderly mason smiled at Terrapup. A hard worker already, Terrapup proudly barked once. Everyone laughed. The spirit immediately puffed out its tiny chest. Even Garrick smiled. You've made another friend. As they continued walking, Garrick finally spoke. Caelan, do you know why our clan protects these mountains? Because they're our home. That is one reason. He pointed toward a distant ridge where dozens of armored contractors worked alongside their spirit beasts. There are spirit crystal veins beneath those cliffs. Without them, the kingdom loses much of its supply of catalysts and spirit essence. He pointed toward another valley, ancient tunnels. Corruption still seeps from them. Then toward the villages, the people. They cannot defend themselves against spirit beasts. He looked down at his son. We are not respected because we possess the rarest spirits. We are respected because when danger comes, we are always the wall standing between it and everyone else. Caelan silently nodded. Terapup looked toward the distant mountains. Its golden eyes lingered there for several long moments. It could feel something deep beneath the stone. Ancient. Sleeping. Waiting. That evening, as the sun disappeared behind the western peaks, Lord Garrick stood outside the family residence with his son. The provincial examination is approaching. You know what that means. Caelan nodded. I have to complete my first spiritual trial. Yes. Garrick's voice remained gentle. And understand this. I can provide you with spirit essence while your companion grows as an infant. That is my duty as your father. But I will not hand you the catalyst needed to overcome your first bottleneck. Caelan looked up. I know. If you wish to stand among the students of the Grand Contractor Academy, you must earn that right yourself. Garrick rested a hand on his son's shoulder. Every contractor eventually walks beyond the protection of their family. The first step begins now. Beside them, Terapup stood and pressed one tiny stone paw against Caelan's boot. The boy smiled. We'll find it. Terapup gave a determined bark. For the first time since their contract had been formed, its dull grey body released the faintest pulse of earth-coloured spirit essence. Watching from the shadows, Elder Mira narrowed her eyes. Strange. That spirit. It isn't growing like any earth whelp I've ever recorded.